All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Let me get this tweeted out for everybody here so everybody can get joined in. Do, 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 do. I just got an email from Shirley. Let me get that taken care of there. Awesome. Good, good, good. Well, I hope everybody's doing great and had a great trading day today. Today we're going to conclude our this week's series on day trading changes of composure, and we're going to finish with trend lines. So far we've talked about monthly and weekly candles, we talked about the Keltner channels, the Bollinger Bands, right? And of course we've also talked about moving averages, and today we're going to talk about trend lines. So just a couple things to keep in mind when we look at changes of composure. Before we do that, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, let's get started. Let's see where we're at with the market. So, guys, tomorrow is Friday, which means keep in mind that it's option expiration day. So, make sure if you're swinging something and you're planning on holding it on the weekend, you don't want to get assigned unless it's part of your trading strategy. Otherwise, one of the things we do on Fridays is because of the massive theta decay, we look to trade next week's options. So just keep that in mind as well. So far on the SPX, what a week, right? We completely retraced the entire range of the prior candle, the prior week's candle, which was a shooting star, momentum shooting star type pattern, right? But it happened to be going right into support right here. And not only did we get above it, but we pushed above it with authority, which gave us a fresh new all-time high today. And we'll see if we get any follow through on the weekly chart tomorrow. But let's take a look and see what happened on the daily. So we have a fresh high, so we have a fresh trend line. All right, so today we're going to be talking about trend lines, and we'll definitely be going back and reviewing this one. But this it goes back all the way to October, right? We were here, shifted down, had a little bit of a change of composure, right? And then since then we bounced off basically the 50-day moving average area, and now the trend line is positioned here, and we're continuing to be bullish until proven otherwise. So good stuff. Let's take a look at the price action from today. Very, very choppy, right? But it ended up closing towards the highs with a little bit of a lower shadow right here and gave us that hammer on the daily chart. So we'll see if that gets continuation to the upside or if it proves to be a hanging man. But based on the way the futures are moving right now, we'll probably say that, well, we'll see. We'll see if they're green into the morning, but they've been pushing this market up as high as they can. So let's take a look real quick at the levels for today. Again, there wasn't too much action today on the SPX. In fact, it was choppy on a lot of different charts today. You can see we basically held the prior day's highs. We faded the gap this morning, right? And we basically just played ping pong here between the R1 level and the prior day's highs. And then we just chopped around at the top today. So not too much going on the SPX today, other than tagging the all-time high. And let's see where we're at with futures here going into tomorrow. So we can see here, with the S&P futures that we had a little bit of a drop here this evening, but easily reclaimed it right now. It's we can see it might be forming like a little bit of a rising wedge type pattern, but again, it's all about how we open tomorrow, right? So we'll definitely continue to keep an eye on that. So today, again, we're going to be finishing up the discussion on day trading with changes of composure, and today we're going to be talking about trend lines. So let's get right to it and see what causes a change of composure with trend lines. So anybody who's been following for a while, obviously you've seen our video on trend lines, and anybody in our group, of course, knows how we use trend lines intraday. But they're very, very important, and they're very give us very big keys to see what's going on with the market and if anything is changing, right? Because one of the biggest things that we use are these trend lines to help find whether or not there's a change in composure and whether or not the trend itself is changing. So just as today is basically a review of the trend line methods, and you'll see when things change and how important these trend lines are. Right, so before we had this this recent move down, this recent little brief little correction right here, right? What we would do is we take our trend lines from a recent low, a relative low, to the high, right? And we only find one point of intersection that is the lowest low between here and that high. So this is your trend line right here, right, from these levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to expand it to the top, expand to the right there, and then we'll see how we handle this trend line. And again, this is back from October here on the daily chart. So if we continue up here, we'll see what happened. Right, so this was a Friday ago, starting to look pretty bearish right here, and we could see that we gapped below it, right, on the here on the 27th, right, which is a Monday, right. So this was the first indication of a potential change in composure in the market, right? So obviously we saw how that looked on our Bollinger Bands, our Keltner channels, on our weekly candles and our monthly candles, but this is here just kind of going into the daily chart and dealing with the nitty gritty. So what happens is when we break below a trend line, we put our trend box over those levels, right? And this in itself is sort of your indication saying, so if you guys see me tweet out stuff like, hey, we're in the trend box, stuff like that, right? You'll know that this is the change in composure right here. So so instead of being completely bullish, what we do is we look for where the trend may be changing, and so we would look for a close, a bearish close below one of these levels. So let's see what happened, how that played out. Well, we got back above the trend line the next day, but we are still concerned because if we close below this level, then that trend may be changing. So we continued the next week, we held the trend line. We popped down below it, but we couldn't quite get below the low of that trend box there, right? And then finally we had this last Friday, right? So if we stretch this over the last Friday, you can see we did close below this level, but we didn't close bearishly below the level. So I know it's strange. What do you mean it's not bearish below? But we did get a lower shadow on it. We want to be like really, really close to the lower or completely at the bottom to be like, okay, this is absolutely done. Or we would look for a momentum move below that level, the next day or so to see if we could get a further push to the downside. And let's see exactly what happened here. So you can see here the next day. We came back up again, right? So we didn't get the bearish move. We were waiting. We were looking for this. Right, we were looking for this move here, a push below it, right, to see if we could fill some gaps, things like that. But this indication here, this trend box here, showed us that the composure had changed in the market, and we were on the lookout for it. Right, we were really looking for either a close below it or a thrust below it for a day trade, or a strong close below it for a swing trade, and it just never happened. And then we gapped up the next day, got above the trend line, gapped up again, right? So it's like, oh, a couple gaps in a row right there, right? And then there we are back to the all-time highs today, fresh all-time highs. And so what happens there? We did get a change in composure. Things changed. We got concerned. We started to look at it, and here we are. So instead of being at the this trend line, we have a fresh high right here, and then we push our trend line back here now and are showing that the trend is still bullish until proven otherwise, and we get rid of our trend box. So composure is done. Composure is no longer changed, and here we are at fresh all-time highs, and we'll see how we do tomorrow on Friday. Now, I really like this kind of setup right here right now because one of the things we are seeing is a channel that's working on, right? So I mean, from here to here, it's looking pretty interesting. Right, so let's see how far we get on this this next thrust up, if they can continue to push it here. So again, it's the same as a trend line. We still have our trend line right here that we're looking at, but we also are noticing that we're hitting a couple peaks in this range. And so let's see how high we go. If we did push up straight up here, maybe 33.92 is the next level up, 3,400-ish, right? And then we might come back down. And as long as we hold this trend line, we'll continue to be bullish until proven otherwise, right? But there still could be some tactical moves in these areas here. So again, so hopefully you guys found that helpful, right? So this is just a review of using trend lines and how we can see that the market may be changing for us and what we're looking to catch. One of the things we wrote recently in our newsletter is we did an analysis back of 1929, the big crash in 1929, and the crash of 1987, the flash crash in 1987. And one of the things we found that is using our trend lines is that they were all catchable. All the big moves down were all catchable based on using those trend lines and confirmation and a push below those changes of composure. So it plays out well in history, and it plays out pretty much well all the time. So if you just for example, real quick, back in December, right, we had this. Just for example, we had this trend line here. Right, there's your levels using the exact same methods. Right, we push below these levels. Here's your key level right here to close below. We had multiple closes below here. Right, even though we came back up, we still had our moving averages that we looked at, and then we finally thrust below there after those closes and had a major move down. And then we have our trend lines here, just there. Close above it, have a confirmation above it, retest, and then back up again. And then obviously you can do a trend line here. There you go. Close. Here's your pivot. Close below it, right? So there's always time to catch these, right? So everybody who always gets bearish and tries to call tops, right, and says, hey, this is over, right, needs to realize that we still have to prove that it's bearish, right? So, and that's why we use our trend lines, and we look for a change in composure in those ways. So good stuff. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. And we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up as early as possible so we can get a good night's sleep tonight and have an awesome trading day on Friday. Yay, tomorrow's Friday. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. We had a few that came through. One through Twitter for SPY vs SPX, and the request was Baba. So let's take a look at Baba right here. Let's pull that up on the daily chart. So Baba Has been interesting, right? So we had a pretty decent day today. Looks like we got a little bit of a hot dog pattern with an extended hot dog on it, but a reversal. So we have an inside day here today, and let's see if that continues to break to the upside and get above these levels. And we'd want to clear here to see if we can get to these recent highs. And Thomas, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. And Shirley sent a few in here. We've got DB. Whoa, look at Deutsche Bank. Well, so the XLF was actually pretty strong today, and we had some decent strength in some of the financial sectors today or recently. So DB had a nice move today, big volume. What was the news on this thing? Big gap up this morning. Capital Group holds. Okay, so I guess we got a stake in it. So Capital Group took a stake in the company, so they're saying, hey, this thing's bullish. I like how they gapped it up over $10. A lot of time hedge funds, things like that, they can't buy unless it's over $10. So surely, as always, you pick some very interesting ones right here. So we've got our trend lines working here. Nice gap up on Deutsche Bank. We'll see. Obviously, it's an ADR, so we'll see where it gets, or AG. But we'll see if it gaps up or how it gaps around. But very, very interesting stuff. This thing's been very, very weak for a very long time. Glue. Let's take a look at GLUU. Oh, wow, yeah, big candle today. So you found a couple, inexpensive ones, but I like how this one closed over this pivot right here. So again, this is definitely one to keep on the radar, and I think your levels look pretty good as it, would attempt to work its way up. NRZ. Ooh, nice candle today as well. New Residential Investment Group. So looking pretty strong. Here's your trend line from the recent lows. Look at that, held nicely here and here. And then had a nice move up today. Closed over a lot of key levels. Let's see if we can continue to build strength. It has a couple pivots above that may want to test. So just look at those, but definitely starting to show some strength here. So I'm liking that. Nice one on NRZ. And then CAH, Cardinal Health. Yeah, we're starting to see some interesting stuff going on in the health sector. We saw some relative strength recently. I like how it gapped above these pivots. We had CI today. A couple different charts like that. Here's a recent trend line we did. All right, so here's one of your recent pivots, right? We closed above that today. Just watch your upper shadow on that one. So good stuff. Wendy, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a great morning in Singapore. Everybody's doing well. Alfredo, thanks for tuning in. CS Ready, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Claudio, what's going on? Guild, let's take a look. Guild's been really tricky recently, right? This is a tricky stock to trade. This is tough, right? You got to really kind of catch a move on it. But, we have a couple major pivots right here that we couldn't quite close above, right? We got an upper shadow there today. So this is kind of like hands-offish right now. But definitely has been showing some strength. Win had earnings tonight. Going to be a 15 orb watch list tomorrow, but it is pretty much chopping around. They're basically saying they're losing $2.5 million a day on their Macau casinos. And so we'll see how that holds up in tomorrow, but it's almost completely discounted into the price of the stock right now. So the earnings were a miss, but again, it's not gapping down huge. So let's see how that plays out tomorrow. Shack had a great day today. It really did. This is one we've been tracking for a while here, right? We're looking for closes over these levels, closes over the 200 moving average, closes over the cloud, next level. Right, so it did get to the 200-day moving average today, and it was rejected. Right, so it has an upper shadow off of that. But what a move today, intraday. Right, kind of chopping around. It's like, hey, Shaq, welcome to the party, inside 15, and see ya. What a great move on Shaq today. But again, to me, it's not ready to swing unless we can close over today's highs. And then CVS. Yeah, this with the rest of the brick and mortars yesterday, healthcare, those type of things. I had a nice day yesterday, decent little gap up today. A little bit of a spinning top, so let's see if it forms something like a doji sandwich into tomorrow. 50-day moving average is curling down a little bit, so a little bit of a change of pose there recently, but let's see how it holds this, and if it doesn't use the cloud as resistance into tomorrow. Ernesto, what's going on? Good evening. Good to see you. Apple. Yep. So Apple had a decent day today. Not a huge amount of volume relative to the recent volume. It goes ex-dividend tomorrow, so just keep an eye on that. Sometimes you see little pullbacks off of that, but it is holding the upward trend line. It's back on the upper trend line. We still have the trend box around this, right? Because we had our first change of exposure here, like the rest of the market. But if we push up to fresh highs on Apple, right, we shift the trend line over and continue to watch it be bullish until proven otherwise. But right now, it's not out of the box yet. Nate, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Osiris, what's going on? How's it going? Good to see you. Cool one. QCOM. Let's take a look. Good to see you, man. QCOM. Decent day today, right? We had a little bit of a spin, doji, northern doji yesterday. I like how it held the cloud today. It held well after its earnings report, kind of flattish, but held the cloud, bounced over the 50-day moving average, and looking pretty strong here. So again, let's still keep watching this level right here and see if we can close above it. That was your trend line breakout level right there to see if it can close above it. And then Zen. Yep, Zen has earnings today. Actually, today, let's see how it's looking after hours. Down a little bit there, so just kind of keep it on your 15 orb list for tomorrow. But again, it doesn't look like it's gapping down too much to see if it holds a key level. It might be able to get a reversal intraday. CS ready, yeah, let's take a look. So you got Xilinx, yep. Got the X's today. Xilinx. So it's kind of trying to do its little thing right here. Again, you've got a tight trend line right here, but a close above today's high could give it a little bit of a move. The semis want to start moving. And then AYX. AYX is often good for a move, right? Had an incredible move up right here, and right now it is change of composure time, right? It is under the trend line here, right? So we have this trend box around it right now. Original trend box was here, but today's lower shadow gave it a fresh trend box here. So we're kind of working in these levels. A bearish close below today's lows could give it a possible move down into earnings, and then we got the binary event of earnings going on. Good stuff. Osiris, yeah, SYY. Sure, let's take a look. So SYY, I know we were talking about looking at the weekly and the monthly charts, right? So it had a decent little move up today. It got to the 200-day moving average, right? Weekly chart, nice little bounce off of those levels that we were talking about yesterday, right? And the monthly chart still holding some key levels and the prior resistance right here. So it got above those levels, so that's good. Now the next thing, right, that we have to contend with, of course, is the 200-day moving average. We want to see it close above that and see if it gets strong. Nudie Poo, what's going on, Oxy? Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so Oxy, I like that it's back over the 50-day moving average. I actually really like yesterday's close. Oil had a pretty decent day yesterday, but I like how it held it today. Held this key level right here. So let's see if it continues to work its way up. It's got an open gap above right here, a little bit of an island top. So let's see if we can get into that gap and maybe get a little bit of strength up the 2-day moving average. And then Win, of course, we just took a glance at it there, but it's holding up okay, right? So we have earnings after hours again. It's kind of chopping right here, so it's all about where we open, but it looks like it's still holding the cloud in the 50-day moving average. So if we can get above, today's high, it might actually give it a pretty decent reversal move tomorrow. When is one of the fun casinos to trade? Matthew, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. Thomas, GDX. Yeah, let's take a look. Where are we? We're still holding the 50-day moving average. Nice lower shadow right there. A little bit of a pop today, so that is interesting. We saw gold and silver and a couple other stocks making a move today, which is pretty neat considering the market was generally pretty bullish. But so that was interesting behind the scenes that gold was taking a move. But still under these pivots right here, there's a prior resistance level, so let's even close above today's high, in the future. So Wendy, yeah, I got a couple good ones right here. So Boeing was a great close yesterday. Beautiful candle, got out of the bull flag right here, right? Closed nicely over this pivot level too, and then got some nice follow through, amazing follow through today on their software news. So it's in the cloud right now, a little bit of an upper shadow, but still pretty strong. Let's see if it can continue to work its way up. This is your next key level right here that it rejected recently, right? It kept on rejecting these levels here off of the prior inside day. So let's even get above that, and then up to the next level is, basically at the cloud top. Okay, a little bit of luck in coffee. Let's see, inside day right here at the 50-day moving average. Again, we want to see us get over this trend line right here and then try to get our way out of it. IBM had a couple decent moves today. It had a great move yesterday. But again, sometimes after a big gap and goes like this, right, often we can only just scalp a little bit off the top of it, but it did form a doji, so maybe it's working on a little doji sandwich for us. Billy? Yeah, Billy was an incredible move today. Out of nowhere, this thing was fantastic. Just a great move, right? Beautiful close today. It popped up on some of our scans that we use intraday, and it was just a really, really nice stock today. And I'm not even seeing any news on it, so just a great technical move today. Loved it. I love the close too. Very strong. So let's see if it pushes. A big candle is a relatively big candle. I'm not saying tomorrow's gonna be a huge candle like this, but I do like the breakout move. So with the volume. So let's see if we can continue to go on that one. And then Ulta. Ulta was another nice one too. Beautiful candle, closed over the 2-day moving average. Very, 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 very strong move, and definitely going to be on the radar for tomorrow. Good. Good. Yeah, my pleasure. Seneca, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Dimitri, what's up? Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at Facebook. Is Facebook struggling? I'm not sure what it's doing after hours. I think we had some more news about their, investigations, with their stuff that they're doing. But anyway, big gap down after earnings. This is the key one for us to try to get into. We do have an inside day over the 50-day moving average. So again, let's see if it gets above that and can try to get into a couple of these levels up here to work towards filling that gap. And Alex, what's going on? Good to see you. Macy's. So a lot of the brick and mortars had decent days yesterday, and that was it, just one day. So let's see how it does. It reclaimed 50% of today's candle, which is not pretty. So we'll see if it can hold that and maybe give a little bit of a move tomorrow. CGC and some of the pot stocks were pretty weak today. Nasty close on CGC. It just didn't have the volume for us to get interested. It's right at the 50-day moving average, so let's see if we can get above this this upper trend line in the next couple days here. But it did drop below this trend line here. So generally pretty bullish if it didn't have the bearish, if it didn't have the 50-day moving average right below it as potential support. And then Viav. Yeah, nasty move down on that one. Looking pretty good right there. Didn't have the volume I'd be interested in, but I like how it broke down out of the cloud. It may test this closing gap right here and then try to work its way back up, but I do like how it pushed under the 50 moving average today. So good stuff there. And then work. Work. Inside day. Again, all these key levels are here important. This is kind of my favorite one right here, is 24 and a quarter-ish area over this pivot. Let's see if we can get above that, and then we can work our way up to the next pivot up. Michael, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. AbbVie? Yep. So AbbVie, we got earnings, tonight or tomorrow? Looks like it's just kind of gearing up for tomorrow. So up a little bit, decent move. Nice little big cup pattern right here into the end of the day. And, so let's see if it holds those levels into earnings tomorrow. Piton with earnings today. Was hoping to give a nice rally, but gave a double inside 15 up. That was it. And it's kind of muted and ended up closing at the low of the 15 orb today. So right now, Piton is kind of blah, but it is holding the cloud support. So let's see if we can continue to do that. Maybe someone will give an upgrade or something like that tomorrow. Tesla gave you a whoops reversal today. So remember the whoops reversal, you gap below the prior day's low, and then you work your way back into it right here. Right, so you can see Tesla did that pretty quickly after it buy the dip this morning. So gap down, right? All right, gap down. Lower shadow, right at the pre-market box lows. Came back up inside 15, broke out of the 15 orb, and gave a really nice move up today on Tesla. And then FNKO. FNKO. Okay, so Funko. Really interesting stuff. Big gap down today. What was the big news on this thing? Downgrades. JP Morgan downgraded it to $9 from $29. Oh, that's terrible. Bank of America downgrades it. DA Davis, everybody's downgrading this thing. What happened to it? On Q4 warning, it gave a warning. Surprise sales downturn on Funko. So that's what we got there. So yeah, it's not looking really good. Big volume today out of nowhere, out of this. Technically not out of nowhere. It was in a trading range, right? And gap down below it. So we'll see. We'll see how it holds those levels again. It's getting really, really cheapo right there. So good stuff on that. Jay, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Hello. Seneca Flowers, no request, just saying hi. Cool. Hope you had a great day today. Tomorrow should be a fun one. I think we've got some cool stuff going on. We've got our cool scans that we're working on, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Michael, Microsoft, MSFT. So Microsoft had a great gap up recently over right here, over the this long time channel. So it's been really strong. It's been getting a lot of call activity too, future call activity inside day to day. So let's even get above that and close above this 184.20 level. Microsoft's been pretty hot. GHSI. You've always got one of those for me. Yeah, nice little gap up today, but couldn't quite close above this, kind of this range area. So it's still basically chopping around. Again, I'd like to see it over this, right, which is your 50 cents, over 51 cents could get interesting. Does that one have options? Just kidding. Like fraction of a penny, something like that. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Jay, yeah, GHL. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, wow, big gap up yesterday, and one of our tactics off these big gap ups is just to trade above the prior day's high, and you got a nice little scalp move off of that on Green Hill. So right now, just pay attention to that upper shadow and see if that holds. MKL. Yep, this one did it and held, so that got your move over the prior day's high and gave a nice move up there. Wow, expensive stock. Aqua, AQUA, Evaqua. Yeah, so nice gaps up here. A little bit of a shooting star pattern right here, so watch for a possible pullback. Maybe 50% of the range is a future target. And then USNA. Yeah, I saw a little bit about USANA. Yeah, so it kind of gave a nice gap up the other day. Lower shadow here off the cloud. Inside day today. Again, key for it was to close over that 82 level. Good stuff. Yeah, cool. Yeah, my pleasure. Session, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. TTD, inside day. You know, doing this thing. We had that bull flag recently. A nice little breakout there. A little push over those highs too the next day, and then kind of back in the range right there. So a little bit tricky. Nasty day yesterday. Zoom, getting tight. Double inside day. Double inside day. Getting tight on Zoom. Very, very interesting on that one. Grub with earnings today. Let's see. Yep, today, so just kind of chopping around on this grub right here. Grub's a little bit tricky, but you are seeing a lower shadow, some prior levels right here. So see if we can get above that and get above these pivots, get over the 2-day moving average, try to work our way back up. GS, bearish engulfing day. So close below some prior areas. So let's see if the market's weak tomorrow. Goldman Sachs might be one to keep on the week rater. I'm going to add that to the game plan tomorrow. I like it. Looks like it work its way down too if it wanted to. A couple of these levels right here and open gaps below. So if it wanted to get, and then you got your double inside day retest, right? Might want to test the other end of those ranges. And then RH. RH we're keeping an eye on right here, but I want to see it get some volume and close over some key levels. So again, we'll continue to monitor as it chops through this range right there. Coaches, all right, what's going on? Roku and Cat. Yeah, let's take a look. Roku. Yeah, Roku's been generally on our bearish list right here. You can see the 50-day moving average is kind of curling to the downside. Right, to me it looks like it might be setting up for a doji sandwich to the downside, retested the 200-day moving average below. And then Cat. Nice gap up yesterday. I like how it got over the trend line right here, but needed to close above yesterday's high. So now it needs to close over today's high to try to work its way up the cloud. Jay, what's going on? LVS. Yeah, nice decent move today. Let's see, earnings were in the past, so let's see, it might trade in sympathy with win later. Samit, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. Codex, let's take a look. CODX. Co-Diagnostics. Wow, still trying to do its thing right now. Now it almost looks like it's forming like a little bit of a bull flag here. So lots of crazy levels on this. Was a tricky one to trade, $3 stock. So something to keep on it. Yep, on uptrend definitely. I mean, it's doing its thing right here, but it's just kind of a little bit crazy, right? So it's tough. It's tough to trade in this mess. We'd want to see something a little bit clean. Maybe a close above this $3.60 area to continue to work its way up. But it seems like it's kind of has something to do with health news, coronavirus type stuff. So just see, it's really got to close. It's more of like maybe a little bit of hype. Ericsson and Nokia, yeah. So NOK, I know one of our members pointed this out today. I wanted to see it close above this little pivot here, and if it could, or it could work its way up. I think we're seeing some Huawei competition, that type of thing. And then Eric, very, very similar. Again, I want to see it get back in that gap, close, get a little bullish move. But I do like the candle today. Nice volume, a little bit of upper shadow. Something to keep an eye on. Amy, what's going on? TWTR. Yeah, beautiful move today. Today was a nice gap and go, right? It gapped up into the gap and right at the 200-day moving average. Right when it got above that, boom, gap fill, and then closing gap fill right there. And then, of course, it found some selling pressure there, gave you an upper shadow. But I think it could be strong. We might start seeing some upgrades in Twitter. Might be on fire again. And Thomas, yeah, pins with some earnings tonight, right? I think this one did quite well, if I recall. Yep, up to 27 after hours. So 27 brings us right up here, right? Very similar to Twitter. So here's your 200-day moving average, right? But you got a lot of selling pressure areas right here that could find some challenges tomorrow. So just keep an eye on those. Papa Mentos, LE, ready to go again. Let's take a look. Oh, wow. What an incredible move up and an incredible move down. So let's see, we have this right here. Here's your trend line right here. Not quite ready yet. Right, we want to get above this trend line right here, but I think it's a good one to keep it up, put an alert on this one. I'll try to track this one with you too. Again, it's kind of consolidating a little bit. Maybe it'll give you a little bit of a trading range in here, a little congestion. And then maybe close above here, get above your 200 moving average, and then work its way back to the cloud. Could be good. Hey, Code, yeah, let's take a look at ACB. Yep, let's take a look too. So again, a lot of these pot stocks had some weak candles today. It was rejected by the 50-day moving average, and again, generally everything is bearish on this thing. It's below all its bearish trend lines. So it may have a move down. You might be able to see like $1.80 or something like that in the next day or so. Good. AM Vids, what's going on? Regeneron, yeah. There's another one. Big move here. Look at that. Here's your downtrend. Got above it yesterday's candle. Push above it today. Great stuff. And then we've got earnings. Were today. Yeah. So that was just part of that move right there. So there's your move right over the 15 orb. kind of holding up pretty well. Again, I really want to see it close above that guy. If it close above that guy, it could be interesting. Kind of a little bit of a little saucer pattern, maybe a cup and handle in the works potentially. Papa Mentos, yeah, HIIQ, yeah, this hit our bullish radar today as well. Strong candle today, got through a lot of major levels, right? These guys right here, right? And these guys right here. Next levels up are your double inside day above, so it likes to test those. So let's see if we can get any strength on that. But yeah, big move today on this one. Tracy, what's going on? Good evening, GILD. Yep, we looked at this a little bit earlier. Just crazy candles, right? Guild is really tough to trade, especially a swing trade, right? Gives you a lot of crazy moves. Big upper shadows right here, got over these levels, but came back below prior resistance level. And then BAC. Yeah, BAC, decent little move here. Let's see, couldn't get above it last time. Here's your lows. There's your trend line. You know, so it's trying to close over a lot of these levels. Decent candle yesterday. Let's see if we can stay above the cloud. Then you got the gap above that I might want to test. Good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Paul, what's going on? AGRX. Agile Therapeutics. Yeah, it looks like a bull flag, possibly a pennant, you know, however you want to look at it. But definitely look at this consolidating up here, looking like it's ready to make a move. Just watch your volume on this thing. It's a little bit tricky here, and it's kind of a little bit inexpensive. But yeah, see if we can break out of there, and then the next level up, of course, is this recent high level. See if we can get above that. Tracy, yeah, QSR. Yep. QSR. Restaurant brands. I'll tell you, one of the stocks that got a big move today was Drive with Darden. So this is interesting. It's kind of in a bit of a channel type formation here. You know, if you kind of get like that, if you ignore the undershoot there. But little channel type formation here. But it's see how it does. If it gets up to this upper channel here, you got earnings coming up next week. So see how it handles the top of the channel here. 50-day moving average right here. So generally bearish until proven otherwise. And here's your recent lows here too. So we could actually get rid of this little channel right here. Just use that trend line there. That covers everything. So key levels, right? So if earnings are good, you can get back in that cloud, nice volume, right? Maybe we can get out of the cloud, get over that 200-day moving average next, and kind of go from there. Good, yeah. Jay, what's going on? NOK can't bust through that 420-ish level. That's right. They should talk to Elon Musk. Maybe you could help him out. Amar, what's going on? JO it's extremely low. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is. Yep, this is what is coffee ETF. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know you got Luckin, you got Starbucks. You know, this is one struggling for sure. Right there. So again, we're approaching a trend line right here. Let's see if we can get above it with some volume. Maybe we can get up to the 200-day or the next level up. It needs a shot of Joe. Jay, pin's looking fantastic. I forgot to play. Yeah, oh, it's all good. Yeah, you like to play those earnings things. And then Dell. Yeah, Dell hit the radar today too. Let's take a look. Yeah, beautiful candle today. It didn't have the volume I would have liked to have swung this, but it did close over a lot of key levels. We talked about this, that it could be working its way up from here. I duplicated instead of removed. So, didn't have the volume I like to see, but if it does stay strong, works way up. 200-day moving average is next. Looks pretty good. Well, good stuff, guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. So, great discussion this week on changes of composure. Does it have options? Let me take a look real quick here. JO, $31 stock. It does have some options. Not a lot of open interest on it, but reasonable spreads. But yeah, it's got some options on it. It's pretty cool. Thomas, yeah, ICE abandoned eBay. I know, isn't that funny? It's like, hey, we're gonna buy eBay, and eBay goes way up. Hey, we're not gonna buy eBay. How's eBay looking on this whole thing? A little bit big upper shadows right here. Big upper shadows. Yeah, nasty. Oh yeah, we're not gonna buy them. Blech. So yeah, keep an eye on eBay tomorrow too. Could be interesting. And Paul, AIMT. Yep, still holding the cloud right there. A couple lower shadows, right? So let's see. It's tricky. It took the inside day down. Didn't come back in the range, so it's may want to come back and retest it, but this one looks a little bit tricky here. Big volume the other day. Nice gap up and then pulled back. Hey, Amar. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you got the coffee futures. Thank you. It's not pulling up on this one. I can't remember what coffee is on this one. If there even is. Let me just double check here. Futures. Let's see. Coffee. Used to have it. I'm not really seeing it right here. Maybe DT. Can't really see it right. It's not pulling up in Thinkorswim, so used to have it. Jay, what's going on? Yeah, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. David, what's going on? How do you set up the crosses over alert? All you do is you right click on it. So if you draw a line, right? So if you go just, like SPX, whatever, if you draw a line here, all you do is right click on it. You can't really see the pop up on my window. But if you go, it's in the first little box area, you go 1, edit properties, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down, right before add drawing. You can create alert with the drawing. You can specify if you want, the alert to go over it, if you want to cross it, things like that. Yeah, Casey. I just don't know. I don't know what it is on in Thinkorswim. I'm not sure. But yeah, nice stuff. Thanks, Amar, for sharing that. MHawk 420, what's going on? Yeah, give me drugs, man. Yeah, so 420 IBB. Let's take a look. Yep, trying there. So let's see if we can get over these levels right here. Kind of key stuff. So yeah, nice inside day today on the biotech. Yeah, it's my pleasure, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. So, good news. So, on Sunday nights, we're going to be going live again. We don't go live Friday night or Saturday because they're not market nights. But Sunday is a market night because we're open on Monday. And we have a special guest. So, we're going to be here instead of 9:30, we're going to be here at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, New York time. We're going to have a special guest, and it's going to be Brian Shannon, CMT. And he's going to be talking about anchored VWAPs. So, it's going to be a really cool one. I hope you guys can make it for that. It should be a pretty fun one. I think we'll get a lot of insight from him. The guy is full of knowledge. I love all his stuff. So great books too. So that'll be a fun one. So looking forward to that on Sunday night. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. And I hope everybody has a great rest tonight and an awesome trading day tomorrow. And we'll catch you guys soon. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. I'll talk to you guys soon.